Morning students. In the previous video we had seen about your triangular wave generator. So now in this video we will be seeing the same triangular wave generator and another circuit with a lesser number of components there. So here we are going to reduce one resistor and one capacitor in this circuit. So in this circuit we are going to have your first is going to be a square wave generator and the second part is going to be an integrator. So the square wave generator is going to be output of the square wave generator is going to be connected as input to your integrator circuit there. So now how we are going to see the experience, how the circuit is going to work, we will see. Here what we are going to see is, first cases we are going to assume that the voltage at this non-inverting terminal is going to be Vp. So when this voltage, we will take this, the voltage at the non-inverting terminal is V plus. So here in this case, the output at this point we will take it as V01. So when my voltage here in this case, the inverting terminal is going to be negative, then in that case it is 0, the inverting terminal voltage is 0, the non-inverting terminal voltage, because of the offset voltage that is going to be present, because of the resistors R2 and R3, a small positive voltage will be developed at this non-inverting terminal, and because of this positive voltage I will be getting an output voltage that is also going to be positive. So that means that it is going to be here V plus, whatever is at V plus, same or V plus I will be getting at the output there. So that means that if this V plus is going to be, offset voltage is going to be positive, my output is also going to be positive and the op amp is going to be driven into saturation. So this is going to be Vsat. So when it is going to be at Vsat, then automatically your current is going to flow through the circuit like this and the capacitor is going to get charged. So when the capacitor is going to get charged, I am going to get a negative going ramp. So that means my output is going to be at minus V ramp. So I can say that the voltage at the inverting terminal, so the voltage at this point is going to be minus V ramp. So here your voltage at the inverting terminal is going to be your Vp minus V ramp. So what is the voltage Vp? Vp is nothing but the drop across your resistance R2. So how to find out the drop across the resistance R2? The total voltage. Total voltage is what? Vsat into R2 divided by R2 plus R3. So here in this case, when this voltage is going to be constant, because your voltage Vsat is going to be fixed, R2 and R3 are going to be fixed, that means my Vp voltage is going to be fixed. So in this case, the only changing parameter is going to be my Vramp. When my Vramp is going to be increased, so that means that at one stage my Vramp is going to be increased to a greater value. So when it is going to continuously increase, this Vramp is going to be more. When Vramp is going to be more, the voltage at this inverting terminal is going to become negative. So when the voltage at this inverting terminal, non-inverting terminal becomes negative, my output voltage is going to become negative. So negative means my output is going to go to plus Vsat. When my output goes to plus Vsat, the voltage at this point becomes plus Vramp. So now this Vramp will come here. So here when my input to the integrator is minus Vsat, my output is going to be plus Vramp and my voltage at the non-inverting terminal is going to become now plus Vramp there. So plus Vramp means that is going to be a positive voltage there. So when it is going to be positive voltage, my voltage at the non-inverting terminal becomes positive. So when this becomes positive, what happens is my output becomes plus Vsat. When my output becomes plus Vsat, my output of the integrator is going to be minus Vramp. So minus Vramp means this is going to be given here and this is going to be the expression there, Vp minus Vramp. So when the negative going ramp is going to continuously increase, then again your voltage at the non-inverting terminal becomes negative, then the output of the square wave generator is going to be negative saturation there. So like this, your alternate, you are going to have your square triangular waveform to be generated. So the output switches from plus Vramp to minus Vramp there. So here the generator, if I am going to say, this generator is going to consist of a comparator A1 and your integrator A2. So here in this case, your comparator A1 is going to compare the voltage at your point P with the inverting input, the initial stage there. So here in this case, when the voltage at the P is going to be slightly above 0 volts, then the or below the 0 volts, then in that case the output of A1 will be either negative or it is going to go to the positive saturation there. So here now if I am going to see the output of your square wave generator, we are going to assume that it is going to be at plus V saturation. And it is going to be at plus V saturation, then there is going to be this plus V saturation is going to act as an input to your integrator. As a result, the output of the integrator is going to be a negative going ramp. Then in that case what happens is the one end of the voltage divider R2 R3 is going to be at positive saturation and the other end is going to be at a negative going ramp A2. So here when the negative going ramp A2 is going to attain a certain value, then in that case the point P is going to be below 0 volts. That means my output of A1 will switch on from positive to negative. So what I explained earlier, same thing I have given here in points. So the output of A2 will now stop going negatively and will begin going positively there. So that means your output is going to go to positive ramp there. So when it is going to be positive, my VP point is going to be positive. When VP point is going to be positive, my output of the square wave generator is going to be positive. Now the output is switched from minus Vsat to plus Vsat. So this sequence will be continuously repeated and we are going to see that the frequency of the square wave and the triangular wave are going to be the same. And in this case, the amplitude of the square wave is going to be a function of the DC voltages, because the square wave output is going to be at plus Vsat and minus Vsat. In that case, your output voltages are going to depend upon the DC supply voltages what we are going to give. And here we are going to see that suppose I don't want my output to depend on the DC supply voltages. In that case what I can do is at the output I can connect the Zener diodes and see that my output voltage is going to be equivalent to the voltage across the Zeners there. So here the amplitude, now we are going to see what is going to be the amplitude and frequency of the triangular wave there. So to find out the amplitude and frequency of the triangular wave, we are going to assume that your integrator, you are going to have your comparator A1 is going to be at plus Vsat and the output of the integrator is going to reach at minus Vramp. So here your circuit is going to be like this. So this is your R3 voltage and this is going to be your R2, your resistance. The voltage at this point is going to be minus Vramp. So here a current is going to enter like this. This is going to be the voltage at your non-inverting terminal and this voltage is going to be your V0 voltage there. So when my current enters, here this is going to go to your non-inverting input there. So here this is your IB2 current and here this is going to be your I2 I will take and the current here I will take it as I1. So here if I am going to apply KCL at this node VP, that is nothing but I1 is equivalent to IB1, your IB2 plus your I2. You know that the current drawn by the input terminals of your operational amplifier is negligible. So that means that your I1 is equivalent to I2. So what is I1? By applying a nodal equation, it is minus Vramp minus Vp divided by R2 is equivalent to, what is I2? I2 is nothing but Vp minus V0 divided by R3. You know that the voltage at this Vp is going to be 0 because the inverting terminal voltage is going to be 0 there. So the differential voltage should be 0, that means Vp should also be 0. So Vp is 0 means this gets cancelled. Finally my expression is going to be minus Vram by R2 is equivalent to minus V0. What was my V0? It was at plus Vsat. So here in this case replace it at plus Vsat there. Minus here plus Vsat divided by R3. So minus Vramp is equivalent to minus of R2 by R3 into plus Vsat. So here in this case your Vramp, the output voltage in the Vramp is going to be, the output voltage is going to be plus Vramp means, then in that case the output is going to be minus R2 by R3 into minus Vsat. Now I want to find out what is going to be the peak to peak output amplitude there. Peak to peak output amplitude V0 peak to peak is plus Vramp minus of minus Vramp. So here in this case if I substitute those values, my V0 peak to peak is going to be 2 into R2 by R3 into Vsat. So here we can say that the amplitude of the triangular waveform is going to decrease when the R3 value is going to increase. Now we should find out what is going to be the frequency of the triangular waveform. So here the frequency of the triangular waveform is nothing but we should integrate your output. That is the output of the integrator we should take. And the output of the integrator we are going to take for a period of t by 2. That means that when a waveform is switching from minus V ramp to plus V ramp. So here your V0 peak to peak is equal to minus 1 by R1 C1 integral 0 to t by 2 of minus Vsat. So minus Vsat into dt. Anyway, here in this case Vsat is going to be a constant one. If I take it out, this minus and minus gets cancelled. So it is Vsat divided by R1 C1 of integral of dt is t. If I apply the limits, it is going to be t by 2. So now t by 2 is equal to this R1 C1 will go this side and plus Vsat will come this side. So t by 2 is equal to plus V0 peak to peak by Vsat into R1 C1. So here in this case 2 if it goes here, it is going to be V0 peak to peak by Vsat into 2 R1 C1. So t is equivalent to 4 R2 R1 C1 by R3. So the frequency of oscillation is nothing but 1 by t. 1 by t is nothing but R3 by 4 R2 R1 C1. So the frequency of oscillation is going to increase with increase in your value of R3. Thank you.